I'm here with Katie Nimon, who is the National Party candidate for Napier. Kia ora, Katie, and welcome.
Kia ora, Andrew. Thank you for having me.
All good. Katie, you recently resigned from your job at the Regional Council to concentrate fully on your campaign. How's it going?
It's going really well. I've got to say it is very busy. We had a Super Blues meeting this morning, which is a great chance to connect with some of our members, and I was saying it's just important for us to sustain this momentum until October, because it's busier than it probably was, not too far from the election last time.
Okay. Obviously, with the cyclone recovery in full swing, how do you differentiate between campaigning and helping?
That's a really good question, actually, Andrew, because it's very hard to. I don't consider it campaigning because, of course, you're just helping people and you do that anyway.
Yeah.
But it is hard because when you're out there doing that and helping people in Esk and Puketapu, Tutiara, Wairoa, the people in Piramai or Mariwa, they don't see you because you're elsewhere. So it's really hard. I think prioritising helping people after the cyclone is really important. And, the word gets out. People know that you're out there helping, and I think that's really important. And look, campaigning's a little bit secondary, to be honest.
Do you think you've got the balance right? Because, some would say even if you're helping, you're campaigning,
I think that's probably a perception issue, because for me, I'm not making it about that. People probably gave me a bit of a hard time for not politicising the cyclone and not making it a profile issue for me, but it's not what it's about. So I do what I feel comfortable with, and I feel comfortable helping people on the issues that I can. And look, I think the hardest part is that I'm not the MP. I'm working really hard to become the MP, and with that gives you a lot more ability to help people. And so I just do what I can do. We've got awesome support in the party that stepped up to be able to help people.
Because at the moment you're a candidate in a race without an opponent, thanks to Stuart Nash deciding not to restand and Labour not having a candidate. How does that feel? It must be a bit weird.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird, but it's quite nice. It's nice in the sense that there's no distraction. I can just get on with the job because, it might surprise people, but I just really like debating the policies and the issues and connecting with people. I'm not there to take anyone down. I'm not there to make it about personalities. And so it's refreshing to be able to have the chance to do that. I think it's really distracting for people. And so, whoever my opponent is, it doesn't change the situation for me. So I'm enjoying at the moment being able to go out there, connect people and not have anyone out there just trying to make it about personalities.
But you are eventually going to have that.
Yeah.
So how are you going to deal with that?
Oh, well, look, it's a normal part of campaigning, but I think that a really good candidate would be someone that would debate the issues and debate the policies, and I really look forward to that. And we have that, we have that across the board with candidates from other parties. I actually really enjoy campaigning with someone like James Crowe, who technically, knows the issues really well and stands up and debates those, and it's refreshing because it gives people a clear option. Who do they want to vote for? What policies matter to them? What positions are they there to support? And they have a really clear choice.
He was the Green candidate
last
time.
Was, yeah. We really need to highlight those issues for people so that they get the support that they deserve and that they need.
We'll come back to cyclone, but I just want to look at the issue of Stuart Nash and mentioned him earlier, but what is your view of his sacking and his decision not to?
Look, I think that, I don't really have a view on it. It's not my place to have a view on it. All I feel, and I've said this before, is that it's just a really unwelcome distraction for the region. We should be talking about policy that's going to help people. We should be talking about the issues that face people, not personal problems that have occurred from, people's lack of discipline or whatever it might be.
So with the lack of discipline on this part?
Look, I think that's a pretty obvious thing to assume, but look, it's for me a real distraction for the region, and it's good that he's done what he's done so that we can move on.
Now, you and Catherine Wedd, your counterpart in Tukituk, standing for National, called for the government inquiry into Slash to be widened from Tairāwhiti to include Hawke's Bay. However, the Regional Council released a report recently saying that while a lot of pine was washed down, it wasn't Slash. Do you change your opinion about that inquiry?
So look, no, I don't think we change our opinion on the inquiry, and just to be really clear, that inquiry was broader than just slash. It was about land use as well, and actually for really good, exposure for the good practices of the forestry industry as well, because it's not saying, hey, we want to prove that this is slash. It's saying we want to show everybody what this is, where it's come from, and why. Because those are the answers we need. It's not to blame anybody in particular, it's so that we can improve practices going forward. And we know that Gisborne Tairāwhiti is very different to the rest of Hawke's Bay. I have seen firsthand the slash washed up all along the beaches between here and Wairoa, and it's horrific. It is immense. And look, that area particularly, I know Wairoa was included in the inquiry, but not Tutira, and certainly not Napier, and certainly not Hastings. And so, look, we know that there is all sorts of woody debris. That's not the case. We want to make sure that the land use and the practices are being inquired into, because you've seen it, we've all seen it. There is a lot of devastation from woody debris. It's not blaming slash, it's just making sure that whatever has happened, we know that if we do it differently, that it's not going to happen again.
Now, you stood for the Napier seat in 2020 and ended up losing by a fairly large margin of 4,500.
If you call it fairly large, the grand scheme.
Even without knowing who the Labour candidate is, why do you think you can win this time?
It's an interesting question. If you look back at the last 7 years of party vote responses in Napier particularly, 5 of those last 7 years, National won the party vote in Napier. So it's not as red a seat as people think. And look, just because we've had...
the candidate.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I think that it's just about the fact that we have someone that is known to be supportive in helping the area, and someone that people can rely on. And look, I came in late last time. I was selected in May. Didn't give me a huge run towards the election. We had all sorts of things in the way, like COVID. And so, look, last time we really laid the foundation, and I really appreciated that chance to connect with people. And I continue to do that since last election, all up until this election. So it's never stopped for me. But we've got a great precedent set by Chris Tremaine, who held that seat for 3 terms. And so, the time is now for Napier to have someone new here to represent them. There's no question they're going to have a new MP. That's just the way it is now. And my confidence is that I have been here since 2020, making sure that this electorate is well represented and has a really good alternative. And actually, even more than that, I've been in this community, working really hard in the service industry for nearly my whole life. And I think that that's pretty apparent.
And name recognition helps.
Yeah, sure. Look, I think it does. But, I got married last December. I could have changed my name, but I chose to keep, running as Katie Nimon. And I think that does help people, just recognise that I'm the same person that I was in 2020, helping them and, working really hard to make sure that their issues are heard loud and clear.
Yeah. So what mistakes did you make last time, and what you learned to take into this campaign?
Look, I don't think I made any mistakes. I just think that we had a really short time frame.